Hello, sir. Aaron here. All of us have influencers, idols, and mentors. I am sure you too have been an influencer for many. But who was your idol? Was it the Nobel laureate Leo Hervis? Today, what do you remember most about Leo?
Thank you, Aaron, for your great question. It gives me a chance to indulge about myself. Now, all of us have had mentors, influencers, and idols. I pondered over the question as to who has been the biggest influence in my life. And what I have realized over the years is that the biggest influencer in my life has been my father. Now, how did my father influence my life? Let me explain. First thing my father taught me was to discipline myself. He taught me how to study for things on a regular basis. He would say, if you study these things just before the exam, that's no good. You need to start early. You need to have a head start. And what I did, for example, I started preparing for my IIT exam when I was in class 9. And for 3 years, I went around studying all those old exams from the IITs and solving them over a period of time. Later on, I also went on doing them under exam condition, if you like, to see how quickly I can answer them. And given that, I had a rank of less than 200 in the IIT entrance exam, I did reasonably well. I had no idea what Indian Statistical Institute was, but my father did. He actually took a course on quality control while he was an engineer at the engineering corporation, and he was working, but he also started doing his own stuff. In particular, he started writing a book, and his book became his obsession. In fact, this picture that I have here is from the back cover of his book. And this is how it came about. He had a publisher which was supposed to publish his book, and he wanted to have his picture at the back of the book. The publisher said, "No, we do not publish pictures of the authors. You cannot do that." My father said, "Fine." He went on to publish his own book. So he got a printer, and then after work, he would go to the printer, do the proofreading and all that for the book, and then eventually he would come home. So he would spend hours every day doing all that for one whole year. Eventually he published the book. At first the book didn't sell much, but then it turned out that that book was the first ever book on air conditioning under Indian conditions. So this is in the 60s. Imagine that nobody has published a book about how engineering works in practice in air conditioning matters in India. He did the first one. And once it became a little more well known, the book started selling. How much book did he sell? How many did he sell? He sold a lot. As a matter of fact, he was able to buy a plot of land in Lake Gardens, Calcutta, using the money mostly that he sold from his book proceeds. And so he was able to do all of that from that one little book. He himself has suffered from great deal of adversities, but he never ever disciplined me or my brother by physical means. He never hit us, he never slapped us, never ever tried to beat us with anything, ever. He would say, he would ask, do you realize you made a mistake? Hold your ears, and that is your punishment. So he did not physically discipline us. And when he was young, he suffered a great deal of adversities. For example, when he was about 17 years old, his father lost his job. So he had to go out and get tuition in order to support his family. And that meant he himself was delayed to get an admission into the Patna University, at that time Patna College, because that would have been financially ruinous. Nevertheless, even after all those problems, he never ever stopped being an optimist. He was the most optimistic person I've ever known. Anything happened, he will always say, okay, so this is what the problem is. What can we do to turn it around? And to give you an idea of what his idea of assets were, when somebody would tell him, oh, Mr. Sinha, you have never accumulated much assets. He said, of course I did. And then he would point to me and my brother and say, these are my assets. Can you name another one bigger asset than my two children?